What's up, guys? Welcome to another NBA Rundown, courtesy of Run Pure Sports. I'm here, as always, with Tyler and joined by DFS extraordinaire and NBA handicapper AP. How are we doing today, gentlemen?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on again, guys. And yeah, I think we're going to try to make Friday a thing where I get on and we talk about these games.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
like having
love it.
that third point of view on
Tyler and I are
Fridays.
coming off another good live show last night. Tyler, do you want to tell everyone the live play that you hit last night?
Oh, what that Rockets first half money line plus 830 we got when they were down by what 13 in that
Oh
first
my
quarter.
gosh. I think they were down like 25-7 at that point. So we're feeling positive. We're on a roll, and we're ready to go ahead and attack this card. The first game on the card is the Atlanta Hawks laying 3.5 in Washington, a team that has been completely destroyed by COVID. I think they're starting to get some people back, but are they in game shape? It's going to be really interesting to see. AP, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on this game? Is this top where we lay the road favorite, or are you a little hesitant here?
Yeah, I am on the overs in this game. We got on them early. I think 232. I expect a really fast pace. Westbrook's going to be back. He likes supposed to push the pace. They want him to be more aggressive. Obviously, he's not the best of shooters, but if he gets more aggressive, to me, that means we're going to see him getting into the lane, getting to the rim, penetrating. And that's where his game is best. And then the Hawks, they're always going to push the pace as well. You got to love Trae Young and Clint Capella, the game that they have going on right now. There's no way that the Wizards are going to be able to stop Capella in the paint, especially with with how Trae Young is stretching, stretching teams on defense with the range that he's been showing lately. So I love the over, and I'm really curious to see where you guys are at on the side. I lean the Wizards. They get guys back. I think Rui's back. I think Bertans is back. And man, Beal just he wants to win, and so I think they're going to be plenty motivated, and I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, kind of a tough stretch here for the Wizards. Obviously, the layoff hurt them. The 3 games since the layoff, they've lost by 18 points each. It's tough, but tonight you're right. They get Rui, Bertans, and Moritz Wagner, who's a player that I actually have not watched all that much, not too familiar with his game. Interesting on the over here, right? Atlanta was this huge over team last year. They were, I don't know for today, but within the last week, the last time I checked, they were top 10 in defense, which is something I didn't expect. And I think that that's a credit to Clint Capella and the fact that the rim protection is so much stronger with him in the game. I think John Collins has improved defensively. So it's kind of a yin and yang here. Atlanta only 5-13 to the over so far, but Washington's 9-5. So that's an interesting aspect of this game. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this game? Do you like the over here as well? Are you going to jump in Atlanta, or is this props only for you?
I have one prop on the spreadsheet already in this game, but
Okay.
I mean, lean Atlanta on the side here. I couldn't touch Washington. I mean, over the last five, Atlanta holds the big advantage in true shooting percentage. They rank fifth to Washington's 27th.
Hmm.
They also have a net rating that rates 11th to Washington's 27th. I know they're getting some guys back, but just like you said, they might not be in game shape. This Atlanta team seems like they're starting to get things put together. So I think that -4 might be a little short.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. So before we move on to the next game, just want to get your guys' thoughts. I'm kind of back and forth with Atlanta this season. After the hot start, I thought they had a legitimate chance to maybe beat the top four, top five in the East. Then they looked absolutely terrible. What is your outlook for this Atlanta team for the season? Do they have a chance to make the playoffs and maybe win in the first round, or do you think they're a little bit of a flash in the pan?
I think they'll make the playoffs. It seems like they're one of those streaky teams. They'll go on a nice win streak. We'll think they're like playoff contenders, and then they'll lose like 8 in a row. So I think they get into the playoffs, probably a lower seed, somewhere from 5 to 8, and they lose in the first round.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I was just pulling up their record. I mean, from a DFS standpoint, I never really care where like a team is at, and so I had to pull. I didn't even know what the record was. So 9-9. But yeah, they're man. When they're on, they can be so good. I think they're going to make the playoffs, and get a win, I don't know. But they're definitely playoff contenders.
Yeah, I think they're actually a tough team to handicap for their overall prospects, but they're a lot of fun. I love Trey Young's game. When Gallinari and Bogdanovich get back, that's some extra shooters to put around them. So I like what the GM in Atlanta has done assembling this roster. So let's see if Lloyd Pierce can get them to their full potential. The next game starting at 4 o'clock is Indiana at Charlotte. This is a rematch, so it's one of the ones where they, play 2 games in a row in the same stadium. Indiana won the game 2 nights ago. It was on Wednesday night, 116 to 106. Indiana's 5-2 on the road, and they're 12-3-1 against the spread as road favorites. Overall, Indiana 9-8 against the spread this year, and Charlotte 9-9. What do you guys think about this game here? Sabonis should be playing.
Yeah, for me, I'm staying off this game. I think all around it's kind of tough to handicap for me personally. I think the Pacers come away with the win. They're the better team. But man, I mean, the Charlotte squad is pretty scrappy at times. So for me, it's a pure stay away.
How about you, Tyler?
I agree with the stay away part. But Indiana does intrigue me because I think they are just the more dominant team here. Sabonis has a game under his belt after being back. But there's a prop I really love in this game. And that's Devontae Graham over 15.5 points. He's averaging the second most shot attempts behind Hayward and the second most minutes behind Hayward. In his last 6 games, he scored over 15. And that number's sitting at 15.5. Indiana's given up 24 points per game to point guards over the last 2 weeks. He put up 16 in that game 2 days ago, and he shot terribly from the field. If we can get him to shoot a little better from the field, I think he might get into the 20s.
All right. I like that look, too. Interesting thing about Indiana, I think they give up the highest amount of three-point percentage in the league right now at 40% through 18 games. And I don't know if this is proved, but most people think that defense doesn't really affect three-point shooting. It's almost like fumble luck. So it'll be interesting to see if some regression helps them with the record down the line. I do like Indiana here. I think that Charlotte was undervalued to start the season, but now after their hot start and people are kind of onto them and they've cashed tickets with them, I think they're beginning to be a little overvalued here. So I like Indiana in this spot. Our next game is going to be my Sacramento Kings, the local hometown heroes, getting 5.5 in Tampa Bay, playing the Toronto Raptors. Total set at 229.5. Tyler, what do you think about this game? Are the Kings going to continue their win streak in Florida after that nice win over Orlando the other night?
I think this was a Toronto or stay away spot here. I didn't even really cap this game because it's just a complete stay away for me. Mm-hmm. But if you had to pin me down to a side, it would probably be Toronto here.
AP, what do you think?
Yeah, before I dive into this one, I didn't realize the total was 221, almost 220 on the Pacers game. I'm not trying to backtrack, but the pace that they played at last game on Wednesday was very slow. So I would definitely put a lean on the under there. With this game, complete opposite. The pace is going to be really fast. 2 of the faster paced teams in the league. The Raptors do have good transition defense. But with De'Aaron Fox really pushing things, playing big minutes, I think he played 39 minutes on Wednesday. He's quick. He's tough to defend in transition. So, man, if these teams get running, I think we see a ton of points in this game, like over 240 combined points, easy, if we get the right pace and right offensive efficiency. So, yeah, I guess I agree with Tyler on the side. If I did anything here, it would be a lean for the Raptors side, but I feel very confident in the overs in this spot.
All right. Yeah, I like Toronto here, too. I think that if you take out their first 5 games and then use their net rating, and they're a much better team, and the difference is they pretty much realized that the Bain signing was a complete mistake. They were trying to give Alex Len some minutes. He's been waived from the team. I don't remember where he ended up, but probably inconsequential either way. Now that the Boucher has a bigger role, this team seems to be playing a lot better. And I think that you're getting a little bit of value because if you're net rating or you're making the lines based off the full season, I think those first 5 games really draw down how you're going to rank Toronto And I think that the Kings, they're coming off a nice win against Orlando, but this is a step or probably 2 steps up in competition playing a Toronto team that's finally coming to their own. So I like the Kings here. And the next game that we have is the Milwaukee Bucks, lane 7 on the road against the Pelicans. Pelicans have been a tough team for me to handle. I kind of had high hopes for them, and they have not been playing well so far this year. AP, what do you think about this game?
I got to lean on the Pelican side, +7. I saw it 7.5 at some places. When you look at from a pure matchup standpoint, I think someone like Zion, I'll be curious to see what Tyler, if he's looked at the props at all. But Zion, from a DFS standpoint, I think is going to have a big game here. When you're talking about teams that like to push, we've seen, the Pelicans started off, they're a slower paced team at the start of the year. Van Gundy was trying to focus on defense that wasn't working. We've seen them play at a faster pace lately over their past few games. You have to figure that continues against a Bucks team that loves to push in transition. They do play good defense, but I think a guy like Zion is going to be kind of a matchup problem for this Bucks team, and I think he gets going. And I think we see a lot of points here. I'm on the over in this one as well. I got to look; it's up now, and so I got to see what I got it in at
It's
earlier.
2:30 right now.
Yeah, 230. It was 228.5 is what we got on earlier, and 230. I bet it might go up a little bit more as well. So we'll see, but I definitely like the over here.
I like the over too. The Bucks like to get out in transition. I mean, they are over the half court line usually with 20 seconds to go on the shot clock, and they're looking to attack the rim right away. I think this is, like you say, it's a great matchup for Zion. It's also a great matchup for Giannis. I don't know who they're going to put on him on this team. I think that Zion, as good as he's been offensively, he's really struggled defensively, and I think they lack some space with Zion and Steven Adams there in the middle. I really don't like what Stan Van Gundy's been doing. And I also think that a trade that I thought was going to be pretty good in the offseason has not worked out well at all, and that's the addition of Eric Bledsoe. I don't think that him and Lonzo work well in the backcourt together because neither of them draw much gravity as shooters, and so the whole thing is just getting clunked up. The other thing I don't like about Van Gundy is, although I do understand why he's trying to put an emphasis on half-court execution, right, and trying to get in these half-court sets, by slowing this team down, you've pretty much taken Lonzo's all of his strengths away, which is his quick ability to diagnose the play and get out and run in transition. So I don't really like this New Orleans team, which is a young, fun team last year, playing the slow pace under Van Gundy. Gosh, I hate lane 7 on the road, though. So I think I'd rather play the over than get involved with the side. Tyler, what are your thoughts for this game? Do you have a lean on the side or total, or do you have any props that we should be attacking?
I agree with you guys on both of them. Lean New Orleans and lean to the over. I mean, both teams are top 10 in pace over their last 5. And surprisingly, New Orleans has the best field goal percentage over the last 5 games in the whole league.
Really? That's a good
Yep.
stat. Okay.
I mean, wouldn't you say a lot of that is due to Brandon Ingram finally starting to play well? I mean, his shots finally falling. This dude was an absolute disaster there for a while. But the last 2 games, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he's been shooting well, and they actually have a better 3-point percentage than the Bucks coming into this game over the last 5 games too, spread. So, I mean, I think that +7's a little long here.
Yeah, the Bucks actually don't shoot from 3 that well. They just take so many of them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they defend the 3 horribly, which makes me love Brandon Ingram's points prop today at 22.5.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of by design. I mean, they are completely focused on not letting you get in the paint, not letting you get into the rim. I mean, it's been known that the weakness of this defense for the last couple of years is they do allow open threes, especially because they'll defend the corners and they'll give the higher threes. So, yeah, I think all these are really great points here. Did you have any props that you were going to look at?
Just the Ingram over 22.5 points. He's covered that number in 3 of his last 5. He's taken the most shot attempts on that team. He's shooting 52% from the field, and Milwaukee's giving up 28 points per game to small forwards over the last 2 weeks.
Okay, I love that. All right, I think that might be a great way to attack this game as well. The next game is a game that I really want to fire on, but I want to talk to you guys. about it first, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers traveling to New York to take on the Knicks. I like Cleveland here. It opened as a pick. They've taken a little money. They're -1. The total's 209. I really like the addition of Jared Allen. That gives you 48 minutes of rim protection because as soon as Drummond comes out, Allen comes in. You're not getting an easy layup against this team at all for the full 48 minutes. And Sexton's been playing great. Garland's coming into his own. And I think Bickerstaff's done a great job with his young team. So what do you guys think? Should I be taking Cleveland? I haven't placed the bet yet.
I actually really like that call, and you make a good point. With the addition of Jared Allen, I think that's massive. I mean, just look at their game against the Pistons. They handled them pretty easy. They played the Lakers pretty tight. That's pretty impressive. And I will say, like I've stayed away from the Knicks. They can be scrappy at times. That's my one concern. But man, Sexton back, Garland back. Garland should be playing full minutes. Sexton should be playing full minutes. I like it. I think it's a good, real sharp pick.
All right, I'll be going ahead and place that. Tyler, what do you think? Are you worried about me going against your favorite team?
No, I actually already took Cleveland too, spread.
Okay, cool. One other thing to point out, after kind of a pretty good start, right? Knicks 3-8 in their last 11 games, so they're kind of returning to where we had originally forecasted them. Tyler, any player props? I mean, Julius Randle's been money for us so far. Is that train still rolling?
I'm going right back to Colin Sexton here at 21.5 points.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen, I believe it was Damian Lillard played this Knicks teams a few nights ago, hung 45. Who's to be like, we look at their guard play, it's like RJ Barrett maybe defending him, Emmanuel Quickly, Austin Rivers. He should have his way with these guys. And he's topped that 21.5, 3 of his last 5. And one of those 2 losses, he only played 16 minutes, and that's when the Celtics beat him by, I think it was close to like 30 points.
All right. I like that play too. So I follow a lot of Knicks Twitter and I lurk around on their subreddit, and all the fans seem to be talking about is Emmanuel Quickly. What do you guys think of his game, and does he make an impact tonight?
I think he's good. The problem is Thibs just he gets set in his rotations. He loves giving his key guys as many minutes as they can handle. And Quickly is battling Alec Burks, who looks good, battling Austin Rivers, who flashes some good stuff at times. I think they need to figure out, like, are you going to, continue to play Elfrid Payton like that many minutes? Are you going to continue to play RJ Barrett that many minutes? I would work some of these other guys in, like Quickly and Burks. I think they're just as good as those other 2 guys. I mean, is that kind of an egregious take, or what do you guys think?
No, I agree with you. I even think Quickly could be better than Payton, given the minutes. I'm not big on Payton as a player, really.
Yeah, I'm surprised with where the Knicks are that Quickly doesn't get more minutes. He's clearly the future. Elfrid Payton has reached his ceiling as a player, and let's be honest, his ceiling is a below-average point guard. And on any good team, he should be the backup, not the starter. So I'm a little disappointed that Tibbs isn't going for development, and that was one of the weaknesses I thought that the Knicks made on that hire. Is bringing in a guy who wants to win right away when I don't know if the roster is necessarily set up for it. But I've seen so much talk about Quickly. It makes me really pay attention to his minutes when he's on the floor. But it seems like we all like Cleveland here. So now that you guys have talked to me about it, I feel a little better, and I'm placing the bet as we speak. Oh, looks like they took a little money. I'm seeing +1 now instead of the -1. So, well, money's been all over the place on this game.
Short, Fred?
What's up?
Total seems short.
209.
This is
Knicks
pretty
play
much.
so slow. What do you think?
I mean, they do play slow, but Cleveland's pace is up top 8 right now over their last 5 games, and their true shooting percentage ranks in the top 5. So, I mean, they're going to put points on the board. If they get above 110 here, that's going over.
What do you think, AP? What do you like on the total here at 209?
Yeah, anytime. I mean, you know me, I love overs bets, and anytime with the NBA, when we get to a number like this, I mean, gosh, these teams play at such a slow pace. And oh man, they don't. I don't think they take a. Well, I would have to go. I would have to lean over for sure. I definitely, that would be such a sweating out an under bet on a total this low.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes I think betting the unders in the NBA isn't worth the money for the amount of stress you go through because you can
It's
be on
painful.
pace and all it takes is like a 3 minute run, where they're just hitting threes and getting the shots up with 18 seconds in the shot clock, and your under can be completely screwed. So, yeah, I actually didn't circle that, but I like your guys' logic there. Another game in that time slot is the Clippers heading to the Magic, and you guys had some news now that Leonard is going to play after all. Is that what you were saying before we started up?
Available tonight.
Did you have news on the injuries, AP?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are playing tonight, or they're probable at least. Nothing official ruled in. My report originally had them listed as out 2 more games, so that was definitely a surprise. I was on the Magic early, and now they're big dogs in this matchup. So obviously Vegas is predicting that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are going to be playing tonight.
And if they do play, does that -5 seem short to you guys?
I probably would stay away, seeing as though it's their first game. I would be worried that they come out flat.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
After watching the Woeful Kings run over this Magic squad that really has been decimated by injuries and just can't really get anything going besides Vukovic, I really struggle to see how they keep up with the Clippers team. Especially with no going out at night and stuff. We can't even count on them being like hungover or anything. So I think I lean the -5 here, but obviously I did not make that a play. Total's 217. Did you guys have a lean either way on this total?
No, I'm personally off the total. And one of the reasons why I was on the Magic side was the fact that the Clippers were on a back-to-back, down a lot of players, and it was only 2 points, and it moved to 4. Obviously, I put that bet in with the expectation of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George sitting. And, part of my strategy is always trying to get in at the best possible line and to take advantage of movement. Which I feel like I do a pretty good job at. The risk there is the news isn't official yet, and there's these situations now. I mean, this happened maybe two or three times this season where it's kind of bit me. But in this spot, I could still see, like, if they come out slow and if the Magic are all fired up and play with a chip on their shoulder, Evan Fournier's been playing better. Terrence Ross, you just need to get a good shooting night out of him. He's starting to play 30, 31 minutes a night off the bench. And then you got Aaron Gordon, who's coming off a disaster of a game. That was part of the problem against the Kings the other night. I think he went like 1 for I think he only made like 1 bucket. Yeah, 1 for 9 from the field. So if those guys get going and start playing better, I think this stays close. I don't feel good about my -2 side bet, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough, and that's been part of the minefield that's been bet in the NBA this season. I mean, it's always been like that, but this year it's like times 10 as far as the late scratches and the late pulls, which sucks because, as bettors, we want to get the best of the line, and we want to attack the number that Vegas sets. A lot of times the market is right, so when you're trying to bet that adjusted number, you're not only betting against the sharp bookmakers, but then the multitude of minds that are adjusting to the market. So being that closing line, I think is even harder, but it's so dangerous to try and bet overnights this year. I've kind of got away from betting overnights, and I've been putting them in the morning. But even then, sometimes you get screwed. You put one in, for me, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. on the East Coast, and everything can change in 2 or 3 hours. So, Tyler, what were your thoughts on this game?
Well, I mean, I was on Orlando before the news.
Mm-hmm.
You figured back-to-back for the Clippers, 3rd game in 4 nights, depleted roster. These guys got to be tired. But with those 2 guys coming back, I wonder if that gives them that jump in energy, and they come out and finish this trip off with a win, or if they come out flat. So probably just going to stay away from the sides. I have a prop on the sheet already in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so low on Orlando that I kind of think the Clippers could sleepwalk through this game and still win straight up. As far as the covering the 5, I think they would obviously need to be a little more energetic. How about your guy Terrence Mann, Tyler? Does this pretty much ruin our props for him? Because I was impressed watching him last night.
I mean, he was only going to get those minutes when those two were out.
Yeah.
It was still a struggle for him to get into the double-digit points. But that 8.5 last night was nice. He finished, I think, 12 points.
Yeah. So, yeah, I liked him. Hopefully they give him a little more run. You know, as these players are out, it'll be interesting to see how the coaches attack this because some of these players have come in well, you know, like Terrence Mann, Jashawn Tate on the Rockets. Are they going to keep, you know, giving these guys some of the minutes after they've showed, or will they go back to their original rotation? So it'll be interesting to see how each coach handles this. Now, here's one that I got bad news on before the game. Even though the line hasn't seemed to move that much, I think 1.5 points. Brooklyn Nets -7 in Oklahoma City. Totals at 230. But you guys have news that Durant is not playing that I didn't catch, right? So is that official?
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
All right. How do you cap this Nets team without Durant? I still think they can score. I think it hurts them a little more on the defensive end. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Tyler.
Okay.
Here's to seeing what we have to say. No, dude, the Nets are like for me. It's I guess it's a little different now. It comes down to James Harden. You know, he's going to run the show, and I would rather see Harden and KD or KD and Kyrie versus like Kyrie and Harden. So
yeah, I'm interested to see how these two work together. But I mean, OKC is the faster paced team over the last 5. Which is probably playing with fire with this Brooklyn team coming in, who have the highest true shooting percentage. So, I mean, they get running. Harden and Kyrie could run this team right off the floor. I don't think they'll be able to keep up scoring-wise.
Yeah, and it was interesting. Do you remember how many problems Dort gave Harden in the bubble last year during that playoff series?
Well, now he's got to pick his poison.
The Dortress meme began, right? Do you think that he's able to lock him down again tonight?
I think he can hinder him a little bit, but it's one of them things like he's going to get into his chest and then the ball goes to Kyrie and then Kyrie starts torching somebody and it's going to be like, Lou Dort, go over there. And then the ball is going to go back to Harden and Harden's going to start doing it. It's going to be like, all right, Lou Dort, go back over there. So he's just going to be running around chasing, trying to figure out who's going to be the high hand all night.
Yeah, and another positive for the Nets is Harden is used to working with ball-dominant other guards, right? Playing with Chris Paul and then Russell Westbrook afterwards. So I hope to think that he's learned a little bit from that experience. AP, total 230. I know you like the overs, but the Thunder are a tough team to bet the over on. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think I could touch the over here. I think KD was the difference maker. I could see a scenario. They have yet, with the big 3 playing, they have yet to roll over anyone. They're not playing any defense at all. The only way, in my opinion, that they get around Lou Dort defense, locking up whoever they want to put him on, is stretching things out with Kevin Durant. They're not going to have him now. This Oklahoma City team is scrappy. When they want to show up and play a team close, they've shown that they can. I mean, I think you got to think that people are surprised by their record right now. What are they, like 9-9 or something?
Yep.
8-9 maybe?
They're hanging right in there.
They're scrappy, and oh man, I don't think I could touch the Brooklyn Nets side. If anything, I could see a scenario where like Harden and Kyrie get frustrated, and buckets are hard to come by, and maybe like OKC sneaks away with a win. They're in a stretch right now where they look good. They man, I was surprised by what they did to who'd they play last game on Wednesday? Yeah, the Suns. I was on the Suns on that game, and man, I could not believe that they got the win there. And so, yeah, this is a stay away from me for sure.
Do you have any props for this game, Tyler?
I was targeting KD, but with the news, it kind of blew that right away because I thought that 27.5 was way too short. But, I mean, with him out, Harden should get a lot of usage, so should Kyrie. I didn't see where those numbers open back up after the news, but maybe like a player performance double on the Nets, James Harden triple-double, and they win. You'll probably get that at like 10-1.
That's not.
He's gonna get all the rebounds now that Kevin Durant was snagging. He's still gonna pound the ball and get you close to 10 assists. We all know he's good for 10 points.
How about Joe Harris? Any looks on him?
I wouldn't mind his threes, maybe.
What is it set at 2.5?
Yeah, it's probably 2.5. It probably got juiced pretty bad once the news KD came out.
All right. Cool. Well, yeah, I think this is kind of a tough game. It was 9.5. Now it's 7 for the Brooklyn Nets. KD, no return to Oklahoma City, where I don't think he's the most popular guy. The next game is the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Sixers laying 7 on the road. The Timberwolves are absolutely terrible this year. They're 27th overall in net offense and 30th in defense. And I can't find really a lot of good things to say about this team. I don't think they're built very well. I don't think they're coached very well. And I think they lack two-way players. They either have scorers or defenders that can't score, and they have very few defenders as it is. So I don't know. I hate laying 7 on the road, but it's going to be hard to find me with the Timberwolves ticket in my pocket this year, unless it's on the over because they defend so bad. And that number is 224. AP, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I lean the over here. Actually, Philly's playing at a faster pace right now, especially with Ben Simmons. And Joel Embiid has been playing phenomenally. And looking at it from a DFS point of view, Embiid is cheap. Like on DraftKings, he's 9,400. Simmons is 7,700. One of the mistakes I've made on the DFS side this year is whenever Joel Embiid gets ruled out, I like a donkey, I pivot over to Ben Simmons. He has sucked. He's been so bad with Embiid off the court. He's actually been so much better with Embiid on the court because from a DFS perspective, he gets a lot of his stats from peripheral stats, assists, rebounds, blocks, steals, and then points in transition too, which Joel Embiid helps with. I see a scenario tonight where like Ben Simmons gets like a triple-double plus like maybe 4 or 5 blocks and steals, and then Embiid just goes off. And I think if the Wolves can keep it close, that those two guys are going to have big nights.
Tyler, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, do we know for sure if Joel Embiid's playing after that hard fall he took against the Lakers?
Do we ever know for sure?
That is very true.
LeBron and AD are questionable like every night.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm waiting to see what they say with the Embiid news. But one spot I might target is like a Seth Curry over on his points. They were hanging it right around 12.5. If you get that before Embiid's announced out, that probably jumps up to close to 15 to 16.5. Ben Simmons is going to want to get him moving in transition. D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley are not good defenders. He should be able to shoot all game.
Tobias Harris kind of having a resurgence under Doc Rivers, which doesn't surprise me because obviously he rose to prominence under Rivers' coaching in the Clippers. Does he ever get rostered for UAP, or is he priced correctly?
Oh, I mean, 6,800. I have him in my player pool. The problem is like when Embiid's on the court, he demands so much usage, and so Tobias Harris is kind of an afterthought. Now, if Embiid misses tonight, Harris is like the lock of the slate at 6,800. He's going to have looks all night against this Timberwolves team. So if that happens, this slate is going to be crazy because we already have so many spots tonight that are mispriced. The Nuggets game on both sides, mispriced. The Raptors guys, mispriced. Philly, mispriced. So then if, Embiid misses, it makes him even better. And then now we have KD out. It's going to be a crazy, crazy Friday slate, which is good for us. Like if you guys are playing, I would play.
In the NBA to begin with. So then you throw this in, and I mean, you're right. I mean, it's just pure chaos. It's almost like just walking up to the roulette table, when you place these bets, because I think that this is one of the hardest nights to cap that we've had in a while. And it's funny that you mentioned the Nuggets because that's the next game on our slate. Lane 4 to a team that's traditionally good at home, the San Antonio Spurs, playing well lately. Boy, I don't like LaMarcus Aldridge in this lineup. I love this team when he's not on the floor. I almost hurting to see Aldridge minutes right now. Let's get with these young guys. Let's start playing this new style of NBA because we have a lot of young, talented players on this Spurs team that have been developed the right way under Greg Popovich. So I kind of lean the Spurs here, but I haven't placed a bet. The Nuggets have won 5 in a row. So they're obviously a team kind of like Toronto that started off slow, and then it almost feels like their numbers wrong because those early games. I mean, they lost twice to the Kings. I mean, that's not like this team and how talented they really are. Jokic, a true triple-double machine. So a lot of moving parts in this game. Like I said, I like the Spurs a little bit here, but definitely not enough to make a wager. The total, 222, which to me seemed about right. I didn't get involved there at all either. I think this is a fun game to watch. I don't know how fun it's going to be to bet on. AP, did you have any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, with MPJ back, I can't bet against this Nuggets team. He just is such a boost offensively for them. And, man, I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge is a good matchup. Like, I think Jokic is just going to, like, smoke him. I think it would make more sense for them to get Pirtle into the lineup, but we'll see, from a matchup standpoint. I'm not touching the total here. I think it's pretty spot on. I'm off this game, but I lean Denver. It's kind of where I'm at.
Is Jokic the most expensive player on the DFS slates now?
Yeah, I think Harden is tonight, or probably it's either usually him, Luka Doncic, or James Harden.
Yeah, both
and Giannis
and Jokic really close to averaging triple doubles this year. So that's just insane performance by both of them. Tyler, what are your thoughts here on this game? You taking a chance with the home dog here, or are you rolling with the hot team in Denver?
I want the home dog, but I'm going to wait for a better number live.
Okay.
Because I think you could definitely get a better number live. I think Denver goes on a run, and this is one of them games where you see one team build a lead, 10, 15 points. You blink, it's tied up again, and then all of a sudden the other team has a big lead, and it just goes back and forth all game.
I think you're actually onto something here, because going back to my earlier point, the Spurs are so terrible with Aldridge on the floor. Why would you grab the 4 pregame when you can just wait till 3 or 4 minutes in and probably get 7 or 8, or if you're even a little more patient, wait a little longer. So I think you got a great idea there. So that actually might be the best way to do it. No reason to bet this game pregame. Last game on the slate. This is a rematch from Wednesday night, right? The Utah Jazz beat the Mavericks without Donovan Mitchell. Now he returns. Shaq doesn't think he does enough, but I do. I like the Jazz here to win again. Do we think the game zigzags, AP?
Yeah, I do. I think it's so tough to beat a team twice in a row, and especially back to back. Especially a team like the Mavericks with Luka, Porzingis. Man, it's probably a stay away from me, but I do like the 4 points on the Mavericks side. They could win, but man, how does it, I don't know. I was kind of surprised by the result of that game. On Wednesday, Gobert just smashed, and I'm not a Gobert guy at all, but, and I didn't play him DFS-wise, and he broke the slate, which is just painful if you're not on him, because that slate was slow. I went the Ayton route, which a lot of people did, and he sucked. Like he did nothing in that game, and Gobert put up like 65, and they had no answer for him. So stay away from me, but I guess I would lean the Mavericks, but I don't feel that confident about it.
What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm on that same side. I think the Mavs have a good chance to beat them tonight, but maybe a wait and see and a live spot here too. My only look maybe is like a Luka over 27.5 points. I mean, even with those guys back, he's still chucking a lot of shots. Them shots start falling, he's going to clear 30 easily.
Yeah, I mean, Jazz shot lights out, so it'll be interesting to see if they continue it. But I think Conley does a great job of getting the ball right where Bogdanovich and Ingles want it. I mean, it's right in their shooting motion. It's just fantastic. Gobert, as usual. Go ahead.
How good has Jordan Clarkson been? Not enough people are talking about him. He's been phenomenal.
He's got a flamethrower off the bench.
Yeah, he's just... It's incredible.
Jamal Crawford in his prime, where you can just plug him in right off the bench, and you put him against these second units and these backup point guards and these backup shooting guards, and he's just unstoppable. And I think they're really smart to keep him in this role, because you're not losing these bench minutes now, and he's able to go against these players that he can just crush. So is Crawford going to be in your lineup tonight? I mean, not Crawford.
I mean, back in the day, for sure.
Yeah, he's the modern day Jamal Crawford.
No, this slate, there's so many pricing errors in my opinion. Clarkson is priced right; he's 6,400.
Okay.
We can go to DeMar DeRozan 6,800. So that's DeJounte Murray 6,100. There are so many pricing mistakes. Whoever was doing the pricing on DraftKings side of things had to be wasted or something. Because these are the type of slates I love, where you just what the best plays are, you lock them in, and you open up a couple drinks and you have a good night.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I didn't really look at the DFS yet. I pretty much just handicapped the sides and the totals for these games. But boy, hearing your confidence, as soon as we jump off, I'm going to head over to runpuresports.com and I'm going to check out the playbook and the core plays that you have and build myself a couple lineups because your confidence is infectious here. So I think I need to get in on that side too. Tyler, what were your final thoughts on the Jazz Mavericks? Any props?
Just that Luca prop over 27.5 points would be the only one I'd play. I still don't see any Clarkson lines yet. Maybe a Clarkson play.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Tyler, do you want to give everyone basically just a rundown of your best plays here before we log out?
Yeah, it's Devontae Graham for the Hornets over 15.5 points. Colin Sexton over 21.5 points for the Cavs. Brandon Ingram over 22.5 points for the Pelicans. And that over in the Cavs game over 207.
You got 207, I got 209, so 207 is a great number. AP, do you want to give everyone your favorite plays?
Yeah, I got. Let me pull them up. Yeah, the Bucks Pelicans 228. I like it up to 230. The Kings Raptors overs 229. 230 is fine. And then the Hawks Wizards overs as well. I think I might add the Cleveland one too. I think that's a sharp play. What'd you say the line was at?
I got in at 207. I think spread said it's right around 209 now.
No, I'm at the side. Minus
The
one?
side?
I got
minus
plus one on Bookmaker right now.
Plus one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So I'll just take the money line at minus 106.
I like it. I think that's real sharp.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Reminder to everyone watching, head on over to runpuresports.com for all your DFS needs. You'll get AP's core plays. He gave you a couple hints there, but you can see exactly it. And then you can go to the cash sheet and you go ahead and fill in your lineup with some of your favorite players, but it definitely hits you in the right direction. Runpurebets.com. You can get all of me and Tyler's best plays, not to mention JJ, Jay, Matt, and we'll go ahead and we're knocking it out the park there. You can get both of them for $100 a month. So runpuresports.com or runpurebets.com. I'd advise you to bet the combo package. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and run pure.